was a beauty. 24 points for Artis Gilmore. Kentucky's been able to come down each time and keep that lead stretched out. And right now they're 4.5 minutes away from their first ABA championship. It's all over in Kentucky, and the Colonels are going to hang their first ABA championship banner from the Raptors at Freedom Hall. They have won it 110 to 105. 15 seconds to play. It's 110 to 105. The Colonels have that lead. McGinnis will inbounds. He's got it to Hillman. Darnell, a long way from home, goes to Keller. Billy's got the three in the sky. It is no good. The rebound tapped off and the chase is on. It's saved by Elmore. Going back into Billy Knight. Knight down in front, missing. Rebound to Kentucky in the 2 seconds. 1 second, ball game's over. It's all over in Kentucky, and the Colonels are going to hang their first ABA championship banner from the Raptors at Freedom Hall.
We are the ABA 1975 champions, and that was a great time for myself, and I'm certain for the others. It was an extraordinary moment, and it's great that we have an opportunity to reminisce and look back, and even today, 30 years later, it was a significant moment. It made a tremendous impact in my life.
The thing that made that team special was the fact that we had a lot of good players on it. We were able to, through the efforts of Ellie Brown and Mike Storn, create quite a talent pool in Kentucky. And I think it's surprising that we only won one championship, because I think for 3 or 4 of the years that team was together, we had the best team in the ABA. But we had all the parts. We had Artis in the middle who was a dominating center. We had an outstanding shooter on the perimeter in Louis Dampier. We had Bert Averett, who really got the ball up and down the court. We had a great defender in Will Jones, and the people that came off the bench probably could have started for a lot of the other ABA teams. So that team was special because that team was really good.
I think the excitement that the entire city caught with this great team and with the great coach we had, I just have all fun memories of it. Everything we did was exciting.
One of the things I remember most is the championship, because it was the only one I ever won. Came close in high school and came close in college, but that was actually a championship that I could wear a ring for.
Every game, a pressure game, we were 22-4 down the stretch, and that's part of our ring today. And people always say when they look at your ring on the side, it has the regular season record, the playoff record 12-4, and then it says pressure 22-4. Well, that's what that means. Every game, a pressure game.
Every player could remember they won the championship by looking at their ring, but they'll never remember their record. It's on there, and then the run, that's on there. So it's a special group, but the ring meant so much.
5 set to go. It'll be Lenny Elmore going into jump against the big guy, Artis Gilmore. Of course, Lenny standing all of 6'9.5", and the big giant about 7'2". That is without the afro, which puts him to about 7'6". Oh, and he was first signed by Mike Storn. He came down here out of college, and he had an afro that had to be 4 inches taller than that thing. It was unbelievable. That is John Bannock, the man in the middle. And the opening tap is controlled by Kentucky. Jack Madden is the other referee working with him tonight. Louis gets inside in a hurry and gets the jumper away and scores.
We were playing the Indiana Pacers, and they were led by McGinnis and Freddie Lewis and Roger Brown and the great Indiana team.
It was a close game early, but we were well prepared, and to play Indiana in the championship was what we always wanted to do, because they were right up the highway, and we felt they were the team to beat in the ABA because they had dominated the league for so long. So it was exciting to play those guys, and we knew we could beat them. We were having a great year. Our finish was unbelievable. Down the stretch, we were beating everybody, and we knew we would beat them. So we were up for the series, and we were ready to play.
I remember that the Indiana Pacers had no chance. When we went up 3-0 in Indianapolis, I can remember before game 4, David Vance, who was then our general manager, coming in the locker room and kind of expressing out loud how neat it would be to win the championship back in Louisville. and I think a couple of our players, if you look at the statistics, I think that was by far the worst game that Artis had in the 5-game series. And I knew even George McGinnis, on the free throw line during game 3, said to me, "It looks like this is finally your year." And I knew coming back for game 5, everybody was psyched about the championship, and I knew the Pacers had no chance to win that game.
We just had a goal, and we knew that we wanted to win it for our fans at home in Freedom Hall, and that was our focus. And we'd come that far, and we wasn't going to let anything stop us there.
Less than 2 minutes gone in the ball game, and it's 4-3. Kentucky has the lead, and you can almost feel the intensity of this game. Gilmore reverse dunk. The big guy has 2 field goals. His average is 23.6 per game. His best game this year was 37.
I remember me and Bird talking to Artis and telling Artis that he had to play tonight. You know, he was tired, he was ready for a break, and he had to play tonight. He couldn't wait until the second half tonight. He had to start playing in the first half. And yeah, I remember me and Bird getting Artis over in the corner and pepping him up. Because we wanted to win it, and we ended right here at home in front of our home folks. We didn't want to go back on the road.
Here is Elmore shooting over Issel and missing. The rebound comes up on the other side. Tonight, a little 5-footer is up. He missed it again. There's a 2-on-1 break. This is Issel down the lane, and he stuffed it. Issel running right over Kevin Joyce. No foul call. Ball goes over to Indiana, and the Pacers down again by 4 points at 14-10.
Oh, we just had a blend. Everybody got along together, got along well. We had the big man, we had the power forward, we had the small forward, and Teddy McClain, one of the best defensive players to play the game. And then I fit in there somewhere. And then our bench, you know, Hubie had a routine that every 8 minutes he would sub, and it didn't matter what kind of game I was having or the other guys, he'd bring in the subs at the 8-minute mark.
And Hubie came in and instilled the 10-man player rotation, something that you see often in the NBA today. And he actually got criticized by Jimmy O'Brien in one of his columns, the writer out of New York, for using a 10-man rotation, and wrote that it would never work in the ABA or professional ball, and Hubie certainly proved that it did. And through that, when you have a 10-man rotation, everybody knows they're going to get to play. Therefore, you come to practice, to learn, to work, to earn your minutes. And more than anything, you came to the games prepared, knowing I'm going to get in this game, and I need to do my job and hold up my end so that I can keep it. And I think that's a big key, that when you know you're going to have minutes, and not sit down on the end of the bench and just say, hey, I hope I get in tonight. And I think you look at the championship series itself. In the championship game, we had 10 players, and only one player didn't score in double figures.
In order for professional teams to excel at playoff time, you have to have good organization, a good philosophy of how to play matchups in the playoffs. You have to have a good style of play, but more important, you have to have good people, okay? And I don't care what happens, you don't win any championships without people. And the people are the ones that have got to reach in their hearts and get it done. You can have the best X and O's, the best plans, good matchups, everything going your way, home court advantage, doesn't mean a thing if the players cannot execute under the pressure of the moment. And that's what I thought we did, and we did it well.
Tremendous coach, and he was a stickler as far as rules and regulations. And nobody had a problem with it. We did what we had to do, and we understood that he was our leader, and we all followed.
McLean and Dampier are the guards. This is McLean from the near side, scoring. For Ted McLean, his first 2 points of the game in this period, he has his 4th point of the night.
Fortunately, I've had an opportunity to play on a few different teams, but to win a championship, to play with a bunch of guys here in Louisville was phenomenal. Not only were they great players, but they were great people, and it all started with UB and Stan Albeck. But with great players like Artis and Dan and Will Jones and Bert Everett and Louis Dampier. I mean, I couldn't have been more fortunate in playing with guys like that.
Everybody played a perfect game. Hubie coached a perfect game as far as I'm concerned. Everybody had worked so hard. It was just exciting from beginning to end.
I can never thank the Browns enough because they had enough faith in me as an assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks to be able to come in here and do this. And then it, kind of shot my career off so that when we merged, I was fortunate to go to Atlanta and then from Atlanta to New York and come back coach Memphis. But if they did not give me my chance, who knows? So I always have a fond place in my heart for the Browns, okay? And then also Ellie and John, and then most importantly, for the city, because the city really backed us.
Basketball is a very important part of this state's culture and history, and I think that Ellie really enjoyed the ownership of the Kentucky Colonels. It was a unique idea at the time.
Matter of fact, at that time, she might have been the only female at that kind of position in a professional sports organization.
And I can remember going to New York City and having a press conference with Ellie and a number of the all-female board of directors that she had. And the women just didn't participate in professional sports at that level. And I think they all enjoyed the uniqueness of what the Kentucky Colonels were doing.
I mean, there was a family situation that was created at the top with Ellie and John Y. and the all-female board, which was unusual back then. Brought everything together, but the thing that always stands out with me is that our leaders, Artis, Dan, and Louis, were good people, quality people. And when your leader's that way, you have to adjust. And so as a result, we ended up with a group of very special people.
All of their hard work, the women's group that went out, led by Ellie Brown, and what they did to sell tickets was incredible. They were all very successful women. And it was just a great family atmosphere.
We had people on our team who did things I doubt anybody in the NBA would do today. We asked them to be a part of the promotions, and they were willing to go out to public gatherings. The ones who didn't mind making speeches went out to make speeches to different organizations. They even went to teas at women's home that was mostly a group of other women to sort of talk about basketball. That was very unusual. We sold a lot of tickets at these gatherings. People got to meet these people, got to meet the players, and I just don't believe that would happen today. I think it'd be very unusual.
The defensive specialist, we got to have somebody to try to stop that penetration by Dampier and Averett, because they're just going wherever they want to go when they want to go. McGinnis firing outside and missing. Rebound, tapped away, and finally picked up inside by Elmore, who missed it. Tapped up once, won't go. Batted out, back and tracked down by Kentucky. Averett with a penetration, dump off, and 2 more for 11.